What's good, YouTube? It's your boy MJ2 Goated here, back with another video. And today I'm gonna be talking about the Lions offensive and defense coordinators, respectively. Ben Johnson as the O coordinator and Aaron Glenn as the defensive coordinator. They both ended up getting their jobs. Ben Johnson was the first one to get hired. He ended up getting hired by the Chicago Bears, as their new head coach. And Aaron Glenn got hired today as the new head coach of the New York Jets. So today I'm pretty much going to break down my thoughts on what both teams are getting as far as a head coach and my predictions for them next year. And also on the screen, I'm going to put, at some point in the video, I'm going to put on the screen their record, both teams' record from this past season and what they're projected it as in the draft coming up in April. So, yeah, that's how it's going to go. But first, we're going to talk about the absolute choker known as Ben Johnson, man. To be honest with y'all, man, Ben Johnson had the Chicago Bear job for like a week before they actually announced him getting hired. He had had the job, and I heard that he had already hired the former New Orleans Saints head coach Dennis Allen as his D coordinator. So all the seeds for him, because he's, I ain't trying to bring race into it, but he already had a job. Chicago had interviewed multiple candidates, including Eddie George. I'm hearing Eddie George was from Tennessee State, former All-Pro running back from the Tennessee Titans and stuff like that, out of Ohio State. Big fan of Eddie George, but they had interviewed him amongst other candidates, but they already knew who they wanted as their head coach. Well, yeah, I'm going to break down in a later video about how the Lions choked that game against the Washington Commanders this past weekend. I'm going to break that down. But I feel like Ben Johnson purposely set Detroit up to fail, man. The plays he was calling, that little pass that he had Jameson Williams throw a wide receiver pass. This dude ain't never threw a pass in his entire career as a player, that. And then I'm not really going to blame him for Jared Goff mistakes, because I don't believe Jared Goff is that good, to be honest. But yeah, man, it was just bad. It was just really bad. I feel like he got outcoached way more than Aaron Glenn got outcoached. I think Aaron Glenn did a good job. I just think Washington was just more prepared for the situation at hand. They came into Detroit and did what they had to do. So I think defensive wise, him and his staff, him and the rest of the defensive assistant coaches, they can only do so much. But I definitely believe that loss was on Ben Johnson more than anything, man. I think he a snake, bro. I don't really like that. I think he did it on purpose to coach a bad game and make Detroit lose with his play calling. You know what I'm saying? But as of him getting his head coaching job for Chicago, I feel like it's a good hire for Ryan Poles and them, the GM and the front office for Chicago. I feel like it's a good hire. I think since he's an offensive-minded coach, he actually going to get a real decent opportunity to coach Caleb Williams and all those good weapons he got over there at his disposal as being an offensive play caller. I think it's going to be good for them. But at the same time, if you've seen my Caleb Williams video, deep down, man, Chicago ain't really been the same, bro. So Chicago is cursed, in my opinion. And I feel like it's just not going to work out for him because, Chicago ain't really been Chicago in a long time, bro. They haven't won a title since 1985, 86 season. So it's man, I feel like Aaron Glenn is in a better position in New York than he is in Chicago. So I think his first year is gonna be a little struggle just because, like I say, he coached in Chicago. You know, Chicago always gonna finish last in the NFC North forever, in my opinion, because they're always gonna suck. But eventually, I think he's gonna turn around. I think he's gonna turn it around. But yeah, he just a snake, bro. I don't really like how he ended his tenure in Detroit, man. I think he kind of did them boys bad, in my opinion. But yeah, that's enough on him. We gonna focus on AG, Aaron Glenn. Aaron Glenn. If you know about Aaron Glenn's career, he's a former cornerback, either cornerback or safety. I never really watched him play before. He played before I was born, but he was a DB. He was a cornerback or a safety, either one. You can quote me. You can correct me in the comments if you need to. But he played for 15 years in the league, and he played 8 years with the Jets. So he played most of his career in New York. So I feel like them hiring him was a really good hire. It was a real good hire. But as far as him going to New York, will Aaron Rodgers still be there? Will Devontae Adams be there? Will Garrett Wilson be there? I don't know. Me personally, I feel that they should just rebuild, man. Just get rid of Aaron Rodgers, get rid of Devontae Adams, get rid of the players that's not willing to compete on a rebuilding team, because that's the only way they're gonna start winning is they have to rebuild, and it starts in the draft. Now, quarterback-wise, I don't know if they'll be able to get a quarterback. Maybe they'll try to get like a Kirk Cousins or something like that. Somebody that's a veteran that's going to come in and do what they need to do and get them some wins, especially in the regular season. But, yeah, they're definitely going to have to rebuild from the O-line. They're going to have to get better defensive players. Their defense was ranked pretty high this year. Even though they lost games, I think it was mostly on the offensive struggles. But in my opinion, I feel like Aaron Glenn is just in a better situation. But, they gave him a really big contract. They gave Ben Johnson, Chicago gave Ben Johnson like a 4 or 5 year deal. And I think they both making like 13 to 15 million a year, respectively. Like they're both the two highest paid coaches in the league as of right now, since they already put ink to paper. You know what I'm saying? So it's definitely gonna be interesting. I'm definitely gonna keep out for both of them, and I feel like that. I wish them nothing but the best, man. I'm a Detroit Lions fan, if you don't know. So I think Detroit can regroup from this, but at the same time, I don't really know. But shout out to them, man, for what they did for Detroit, especially Aaron Glenn. Aaron Glenn turned that whole defense around pretty much by himself, and they got the right pieces. The front office got the right pieces and put everything into place. And Ben Johnson had been on that team since 2019, so I thank them both for their time in Detroit, and I wish them, like I say, I wish them nothing but the best in Detroit. I mean, in their respective places, New York and Chicago. So, yeah, that's pretty much my breakdown of them two going to their respective new teams and new situations. There's a couple more other moves. The Buccaneers, their offense coordinator, he's staying in Tampa to stay with Baker Mayfield. I feel like that was good for him. He took his name out of the running for the Jaguars job. I think I had already talked about Dennis Allen going to Chicago. You know, I think Khalil Mack's gonna stay, gonna he's an unrestricted free agent, but I think the Chargers are trying to get him back. So yeah, there's a couple more other moves. I just can't think of them right now, but I'll definitely keep y'all posted. I haven't really been on social media that much. I haven't really been able to see the types of moves made yet, but when they break, you best believe I'm gonna try to get them out to y'all as soon as possible. But yeah, I appreciate y'all for listening to me. I know I've been gone for a few days. You know, I had to deal with a lot of stuff with the snowstorm and stuff down here in Houston, Texas. You know what I'm saying? So I'm definitely gonna keep y'all updated on more videos. I'm gonna drop another video after this Spencer Rattler's rookie year as well, as much as also other videos is dropping as well. But yeah, thank y'all for everything. God first, God bless, and peace. Have a good one. Also, like and subscribe for me, please. Thank you. I'm trying to get to 50 by the end of the year, so I appreciate y'all for subscribing, liking, sharing, everything. And peace. Yeah, I'm out.